Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Nana's Space. If you've never been here before, welcome. My name is Nana. I do reviews of shows, movies, series. My last review was on New Amsterdam. I have still not done the finale review because I'm still upset. Today I'll be talking about Stranger Things Volume 4. Spoiler alert, if you've not seen Stranger Things before, don't watch this review. You have to watch the whole lot to get here. I will be talking from the last 2 episodes that was released 2 days ago. Obviously, we're gonna make references to the previous episodes. There's a lot of people to remember, so I have jotted some names down just so I don't forget. So let's get right into it. Man, if you're not into horror or gooey stuff, this is not for you, okay? But if you are into it, these 2 episodes were everything. I mean, I think you could have watched them on their own and perhaps understood, but it makes perfect sense if you've been watching from the beginning to really understand, because there's a lot going on. There's quite a lot of concepts to grasp at the roots before you can fully appreciate what went on in this 2-part finale. So we start off with a few things. 11. So if you don't know who 11 is, she is this brainchild of this project with superpowers that her creators are trying to capture back, and she has returned to her original settings with other children similar to her, and this guy helping her out. Turns out he is one. So the children are numbered. One turns out to be this child monster whose parent bought a new house, and he practically tortured and killed everyone. And in an attempt to burn and destroy him, they ushered him into another world. So I'm gonna go back and forth here, bear with me. This all became clear towards the end, why he was doing what he was doing and what things were going on. And his revelation, so one's revelation, was done through Nancy's point of view. So Nancy is a student working in the media department, for example, right? So they covered different stories in their small Hawkins town, and so she wanted something juicy for her news outlet that the big guns are not getting, and she stumbled upon this home, which stories or the legend was that mother, father, and 2 children moved into the house, and the children and the mother were killed, and the son fell into coma and later died. Obviously, looking back, that was not true. That son was one, who was one of those brainchilds where 11 was manufactured as a child. So there is that going on. Okay, you have Dr. Owens, who's like a good doctor, with Papa. Papa is this manufactured father that was the father figure to all these children who have been, with special powers that were being groomed for otherworldly stuff. So I think it's the FBI, the military, okay, were charged to go and find this 11 because there were so many killings happening in Hawkins, and it has become perhaps imperative that they find who is doing these killings, and somehow they got it twisted that it's this 11 who was doing these things. So what happened was this young lady called Chrissy wanting to score some drugs, but on the day she went to buy the drugs, she started seeing things, and it turns out that the other world had captured her, and in real time her bones were broken. She was thrown to the roof, and then she hit the ground and died. But the druggie who was selling the drug to this Chrissy, who was supposed to be a good girl, was dumped a murderer. So the whole town was looking for this young man who witnessed this traumatic event and was now being framed for this disaster that has already been happening. Just wanted someone to hang on the stake, really, to pin this crime on. So that incident had gone on, and Nancy and another young man, reporter, were trying to do some investigation, where that young man was also captured by this monster that we call One, and also killed. So that was the backdrop to how we ended up with different groups of people trying to work out what had gone on. So we have the core group. So we have Dustin, we have Will, we have Lucas, and then there's another one whose name I have forgotten, Mike. So these 4 young men and Max, that female friend, and 11, they understood what it means to be in one world and have the exact reverse in another world where these mysterious activities start off. And if you can shift from the real world into that other world and change things there, perhaps it will affect what happens or stop the killings that are happening in real time. Bear with me. This was, again, if you've not seen this series, it's difficult to try and explain, but they had captured 11 back. Okay, the boys were trying to get 11 back because that's their friend, so they were on a hunt trying to work that out. Nancy was trying to work out who took her reporter friend because she witnessed that guy had been taken by someone. So Nancy was looking to find that friend, with Steve and Robin, who are both friends to Nancy. And, in my opinion, Steve likes Nancy, but anyway. So Steve, Nancy, and Robin teamed up to try and work out how that reporter young man was taken. The 4 guys with another gentleman, Agile, I can't remember his name, really beautiful long hair, they teamed up to try and find 11. Meanwhile, Joyce has spent the whole season or whole volume trying to get back Hop. Now, they had done a funeral for Hop because they thought he was dead. I was like, But he's been taken by the Russians. And the whole time going back and forth between them trying to kill him, them trying to use him as a ransom. Hop finding this really hilarious guy, the Murray, who I absolutely adore. Very hilarious guy. Them going to Russia, going to save Hub, and then it dawning on them that the creatures that they have in that Russian place have a connection to One in the real life Hub otherverse. So if they can get hold of or kill the monsters in Russia, somehow that will cut through the monsters in Hawkins for layman terms. So how do we go about doing this? Well, they try to bait and switch these monsters. They were like, I've forgotten the name of the flowers. Those flowers that when you touch, they close up, they become shy. But these monsters, that's how their heads are. So they'll open up like that and they'll just spew this mess. But the rest of their bodies are humans. Those are the walking monsters, but the core of them is One. And One is in the Otherverse with all these Pine connections, and he kind of operates everything that's going on. Now, a few favorite things that I'm gonna get to. One of the highlights was when 11 got out from that hellhole, and orchestrated the downfall of that plane. Like, I love that scene. And when she finished the whole event and went on her knees in the desert, it reminded me so much of Michael Jackson's album or his song "They Don't Really Care About Us." Like when it was such an epic scene. I really love that. That was really cool. Another scene was when Dustin cried over Eddie. So Eddie was the druggie who was being accused of killing Chrissy, who was coming to get some drugs, but eventually, unfortunately, died. These bats got him. He sacrificed his life, Eddie. Sacrificed his life. And I love that vulnerable scene where Dustin, who's one of the four, got to tell Eddie's uncle that, you know, your nephew was a really good guy. Like, he didn't deserve. I saw him when the earthquake hit. It was a really massive earthquake that hit Hawkins to finish off all the disaster that happened. And the next morning, literally everyone and their uncle was leaving town. I was about right. Everyone and their uncle was leaving town. So Hop and Joyce and Murray killed the monsters in Russia, and that affected One, which is the main antagonist for this series or this volume. Because they are his eyes and ears on the ground, right? So that affected his being, and I really enjoyed when Murray came with the gun that spews fire to burn the monsters. I also like the sequence, the cinematography, the graphics was so cool. When Hop cut off the head of one of the monsters, like the slow motion of the camera moving, it was like, it was so immersive. I was like, yes, you got one, you got more than one, you burned so many. And when one was blown apart, that was another cool montage. I really like that. That was really cool, well done. Max, poor lady, almost lost her life. Like, so she has similar powers to 11, and 11 can get into her mind and read stories and kind of control things, and vice versa. So 11 was trying to help get Max out of this trap that she found herself into, because she had got into the other world where One was trying to kill her. And might I add, the only way to bring you back into reality is the auditory hearing, which is really cool because, you know, scientifically, your hearing is the last to go and the first to come back. So wherever she went in the other world, the way to draw her back was with music. And that idiot boyfriend of Chrissy, who was the girl who was trying to score a drug, stepped on the Walkman, and I was like, oh my god, how are they going to get music back to this girl? How are they going to get her back? Because she got stuck in this other world where she was on a dance floor with no one, and suddenly balloons were popping and there was blood everywhere. And I'm like, oh, this girl, she's been there before, she made it once, is she going to make it again? But thankfully, she did, and Lucas was there to kind of soothe and support her, and then took her to the hospital. I can't remember what she made it or not. I think she did. But the one person that we lost was Eddie, who I will miss dearly. What a character. What a character. Like, when they were trying to come for him, it's like, guys, like, I really need help here, like. And when he jumped into the water and saw another person being killed, the dude was like, this has not happened to me twice. This is all over the place. I hope you understand, but I'm really excited. It's difficult to go through everything, but I hope I've done a little bit of a justice to it. So, long story short, they were antagonists, One and everyone else around One, who twisted the narrative in thinking that 11 was a monster, and they wanted to get rid of her he had been using different channels to kill people, what they call gates, that he is able to access the real world from the other universe, the parallel universe, and kill people. So those channels, these 4 guys, Dustin worked out how to go to the other world and make some changes based on information at hand. So the cool thing was having that bear sheet tied to one world, and you go into it and you reverse backwards. It was just so cool. It's like, if you've not been watching for a long time, you'll be thinking, what the heck is actually going on? But if you've been following from episode 1 and you've been paying attention, it all makes sense. But Will, I think it's Will, right? He's the one who gets a spidey senses at the back of his neck that monster is around. And at the end, he was like, I can still sense him. I was like, oh my God, I thought we got rid of this nuts person. Like, how have we not gotten back this nut person? How have we not killed him? What more does Hawkins need to do to get rid of this monster? So perhaps next season will come and this monster will come and hunt them again. This time we will not have Eddie. We have Hop back. A lot of people have left town. I don't know where they're going to set this. I don't know whether it's going to be the same place. I like the nostalgia of this series. Like, takes you back to the 80s, the 90s, the music, the clothing, the cars, the ambience. It's just very nostalgic, and also introduces a young audience to the past of what most people's childhood was. This and something that bothers me, like, a lot of the parents were not there most of the time. I remember when the police went to the house, it was very, very subtle, but the police went to the house and were like, oh, we're gonna arrest your children. And the 2 black mother and father of Lucas and Erica, they were like, you're gonna arrest our children? And I'm like, no, you're not be doing that. These are kids, mate, and nothing has changed. You know, dare I say, black people are still being harassed, children or not, adults. The other children were being beat, but the black people were like, I'm not having this. I loved Erica and her introduction statement, there's no America without Erica. Yes. That she had a small role, but she played the heck out of it, and that was really, really well done. I feel sorry for Dr. Owens, who was tricked by Papa into bringing this girl back, only to find out that this was all a trap. I'll just put it that way, a trap. But 11's powers are back, because for the most of this season, she had lost her powers. She was kind of losing her identity. She was getting lost. But thankfully, she had gained her power back, which is really, really cool. Hopefully we get another season, and you know, the boys are getting taller, they're getting more mature, they reunited at the end. We hope their wedding bells in the mix with Hop and Joyce. I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you are not into horror, fine, but if into horror, definitely worth checking. I'll give it a straight 5 out of 5. From writing, directing, actors, cinematography, music, the whole 9 was really brilliantly done. I really, really liked it. So that's my review, that's my thoughts. Please leave your comment in the comment section, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on another episode of a series or a show or a movie. If there's anything you're interested in, you've watched, that you think is worth doing a review on, do put in the comment section. I hope this is not so confusing. But yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.